put cash aside, because when the next correction comes along, and it's coming, I just don't know when, you better have cash set aside for, number one, your own sake, and number two, to take advantage of some opportunities that are going to be coming along that, we haven't seen in a while. But this world of private money, I've never asked for money, Charles. I've never asked anybody for money. And people say, Jay, how in the world have you got all that private money and you never asked anybody for money? It's simple. I put my teacher hat on and I teach people what it is. In fact, I just got off of Zoom before getting on with you. One of my private lenders had referred this couple. They just sold their house in Wilmington, North Carolina. They got, about $400,000 in cash sitting in the bank, and they don't want to earn 0.17% in the 12-month CD. So there's another private lender that's come. So again, it's not chasing, it's not begging, it's not selling. It's learning or putting your own program together. Like I'm doing the same program I did in 2009, and I got a big problem. It's a good problem, but I always have more money sitting on the shelf, ready to go for the next deal. But it's a good problem to have.
Now let's get down in the weeds here, and we talk about raising money. Raising equity to buy multifamily deals. That is the difference between your private money and my private money, equity versus debt.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So you're always giving these people a first lien position on a property. Is that how you work?
It depends on who the private lender is. For purchasing the property, if they don't have enough money to invest on a particular property, then we'll use in first position money to buy it. But I got a ton of private lenders that only have like $30,000 to $50,000. We call that mom and pop money, right? Yeah. So I can't buy a house for $30,000 or $50,000, but I can put them in a junior position. And they know, every private lender knows what position they're in on that mortgage or that deed of trust. Here in North Carolina, it's a deed of trust. So, in your world, a lot of my friends raise money by syndication, and they'll have their own fund, and they'll have people invest in the fund. In my world of private money, we call it one-offs. So every private lender is secured by that piece of property, that we're buying. What's interesting though, Charles, it's all the same money, right? It's just a matter of how we structure it.
Okay, so hold on. We call them one-offs also. Even with syndication, you can do a syndicate of one-off, or you can create a fund to go out and buy a bunch of properties. But okay, so in your situation though, so let's say you put together the mom and pop money, and you've got the last person in the deal in the fifth position, let's say. Could it be that scenario? What if you did something where you created an LLC that they were all members of, and lent the money to the entity?
Sure.
To buy the property.
Sure.
You can do that. Okay. Yeah.
And the only people, let's be frank about this. The only people that are going to take a junior position are people that have got a lot of trust in you. Even though they're going to get a deed of trust, if foreclosure is if I don't hold up my end of the deal, the only way, and of course I'm saying this for the sake of your audience, I'm not telling you anything, Charles, that you don't know, but the only way someone in a junior position can be protected if I default is they can foreclose, but then they inherit, that position that's above them. But I also calculate my deals as far as the most that I'm going to borrow on any deal. We call it total loan to value. So when I'm rehabbing a property, the most I'm going to borrow typically is 75% of the after repaired value. So that's going to keep it safe and conservative. Well, I did a deal last year down at Emerald Isle, North Carolina, resort area, $900,000 house, 3 stories. You look out, you look like you're on a cruise ship looking at the ocean. So I actually did. It's funny you said 5 private lenders. I had 5 private lenders funding that deal, but I only borrowed up to like 600,000, right, on that particular deal. And so they, I had a first lender and then right on down to the 5th. But anyway, again, I don't, whether it's one private lender or multiple private lenders on the same deal, we're keeping the total loan to value at 75%.
Hey, have you gone back to using banks?
That's funny you should ask. So the answer is no. They started calling me and I said, thank you so much, but no, thank you.